with Joe. For more on this, let's bring in House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jime Jordan. Chairman, Congressman, great to see you. First, as part of this campaign ad blitz, slamming Republicans, taking credit for the debt deal, I want you to listen to this and watch it, and I'm going to get your reaction.
When MAGA Republicans threatened to wreck the U.S. economy, President Biden took charge, secured a bipartisan agreement, and prevented chaos.
There you go. What say you, sir?
Took charge. We got record spending, record inflation, record debt, and an economy where everyone's paying more for everything. I said this a while back, but it still applies today. I don't know that they've done one thing that makes sense, one thing that's been good. We went from a secure border to no border. We went from safe streets to record crime. We went from $2 gas to $4 and $5 gas, and we went from stable prices to record inflation. And that doesn't even get into foreign policy. We know how weak the projection is now from the Oval Office with this guy. So you can just go on and on. There's a reason why only 36% of the country think we're on the right track. In fact, the real question is, who are these 36% who think we're on the right track? Because nothing has went well in this administration. So they can say all they want, but the American people have common sense.
Congressman, I want to ask you about this. This is breaking tonight. You sent a letter to the White House expanding your investigation into the administration targeting parents at school board meetings. This is one I've cared a lot about for a long time as a parent of school-aged children, but also as a friend of people who over the past couple of years have spent a lot of time at school board meetings because they care about their community and they want to see change. They're the ones that feel targeted. What's going on with the letter you sent, and how do you expect this to play out?
Well, this is just one of many of the examples we have where it looks like the government has actually been weaponized against we the people, weaponized against the American citizen and taxpayers. But when it comes to parents, we know that there were 25 parents investigated. There was none of them were charged with anything because there wasn't anything there. Investigated by this apparatus that the Justice Department set up, namely where Attorney General Garland developed a snitch line, a line for reporting threats to people at school board members. So the 25 were investigated. None of them were found, were prosecuted. So this is ridiculous. And you couple that with what we learned from the Richmond field office, where they put together a memorandum on radical traditional Catholics. And basically they said, if you're a pro-life Catholic, you're an extremist. Now, thank goodness when a whistleblower brought that to our attention, the FBI rescinded that memo, but that memorandum that is still in place that targets parents who are showing up simply advocating for their son or daughter at a school board meeting. That is frightening stuff, and it's why we're so focused on our work in the committee to show how these agencies have been turned on the American people and propose legislation to fix it.
This is a constitutional violation if we, as we believe, the White House and the Justice Department worked with this organization to shut up parents and to silence them and then turn around and investigate them. This letter that you wrote to White House Chief of Staff Jeff Zients, what is your goal here, and what tools will you use to get the information that you so desire?
We want to know about the correspondence. We know that the National School Boards Association had contacts with the Department of Education, the White House, and the Justice Department prior to ever sending that initial letter on September 29th, 2021. And then just 5 days later, on October 4th, there's a memorandum that's put out by the Attorney General of the United States that does exactly what the memorandum, or excuse me, from the letter, does exactly what the letter from the School Boards Association asked the White House to do. We want to know all the coordination it took, because we think this was hatched ahead of time. The letter simply became the pretext for the White House and the Justice Department to do what they wanted to do. Now remember, guys, they thought this was going to help Terry McAuliffe become governor of Virginia. It actually backfired, and it wound up helping Glenn Youngkin win that election, and is now, of course, the governor of the great state of Virginia. So they thought it was going to help them politically. That's why the turnaround was so quick in putting this all together.
Just really quickly, there are a lot of parents still going to school board meetings, still trying to affect change. Obviously, you haven't gotten answers yet on this. Should they, or are they threatened at all because you haven't gotten any answers on what's going on here?
Oh, great question. That's the whole point. It's designed to chill Americans' First Amendment liberties, to chill the exercise of free speech. That is what the left is all about. We saw it when they worked with big tech to censor certain type of speech in the run-up to the election. We see what they did here. We saw what they were trying to do with parents who are, with Catholics who are pro-life. So that is the whole threat from the left. That is the appropriate question. And again, it's why I think our work is so important, because we're trying to expose this all and then put forward legislation to fix it, and also use the appropriations process where we can limit how the money is spent in these agencies that are doing this, that have been weaponized against the American people.
We can't say this enough. These are personal freedoms that the founders granted the American people in the Bill of Rights because they feared overreaching government and corruption at the federal level. And they are usurping those rights in the most underhanded, dastardly way because they don't think they'll get caught, because they don't think that you or people, other Republicans will get to the bottom of it, Congressman.
And they never thought a billionaire would buy Twitter and show us just how bad it was and just how serious the coordination was between big government, big media, big tech to censor American speech. You're exactly right. This is as fundamental as it gets. We have 5 liberties under the First Amendment. Your right to practice your faith, your right to assemble, right to petition the government, free press, free speech. Every one of them has been assaulted by the left in the last couple of years. Our job, particularly those of us on the Judiciary Committee, is to protect the Constitution, protect the Bill of Rights, and certainly protect the First Amendment liberties Americans have.
And I just wanted to point something out, Brian. In that letter, that National School Board's letter that they originally wrote, you know what one of the things that they bitched about in it the most were parents who were upset about their children having to wear masks.
Right.
That was one of their grievances.
Sure enough.
I just wanted to point that out.
You certainly shouldn't be able to say that at a school board meeting.
Because your children were hurt by being forced to wear masks that didn't work, but God forbid you actually come to a school board meeting and complain about it.
Look, Congressman,
so think about this. The letter happens on September 29th. The memorandum from the Attorney General happens October 4th. October 20th, there's an email sent out from the FBI telling the FBI to put this threat tag, this threat tag on parents. That's how they investigate these 25 folks. All that happens in 22 days. When have you ever seen the federal government move that fast? When has it ever happened? Only when they're trying to target their political opposition, which again underscores how serious this threat is.
That is such a good point. Look, before we go, we're talking about first freedoms here. We want to take a second to get your thoughts on the anniversary of D-Day. 79 years ago today, the largest land, sea, and air invasion ever attempted took place. And it was about the things we're talking about right now, Congressman. It seems like a great time to get your thoughts on this very important anniversary.
Amazing individuals who put their lives on the line. Many gave their lives for this great country and for the things we've been talking about. It's just that greatest generation is just that, the greatest generation. What they did for us, and I think about me. I'm 59 years old. The life I've been able to live because of what those individuals did. We've lived at the greatest time in human history. Had the most things that we could ever. And it's been so special because of what those individuals did. And we should always remember this amazing day where there was so much sacrifice done, but the victory that they achieved and what it means for all Americans and frankly for countless number of people around the planet is truly something special.
Amen.
Well said, Chairman Jime Jordan. Congressman, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, guys. You bet.